headphones on, you cheeky bastard.
Cheeky boy.
Cheeky boys. Welcome back to Dadvertising.
Dadvertising.
Yeah, shout out to the guy who made that little theme song. Don't know
Is
what
that
his name
is that a Fiverr special?
Fiverr. Yeah. Everything
go.
on Fiverr, all the intros you can get, they're all like rap and stuff like that. And I was like, we like a bit of rap, but we're both pop punkers at heart.
Yes.
Pop punkers at heart. Go away. Someone's ringing me. We don't want it.
From
Get out of here.
Queensland of all places.
We don't want you. It'll be the Brisbane Broncos asking us to go easy on them. What are we talking about? Yeah, it was a Fiverr special. You and I, we love our Blink. We love our Sum 41. So I wanted to replicate that.
Yep.
In the.
Who was your favourite band growing up?
I'd say that since you said growing up, it would probably be Sum 41 because they've lasted the longest. I was listening to them in year 6.
Yeah. Still
Listening to them today.
Yeah.
I think that over high school, probably favorite band probably jumped up to being My Chemical Romance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. But then I've also, man, it's too big of a question.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd is the greatest band of all time.
Okay.
Like, my favorite song of all time is a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah.
My favorite individual songwriter of all time is a guy called Connor Oberst from a band called Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
I've seen him live, and every time I see him live, I start crying immediately.
Oh, really?
He opens his voice,
Wow.
opens his mouth. Ridiculous, like a girl. Like I've seen
Yeah.
him play twice,
Yeah.
and as soon as he starts singing, tears roll out of my eyes.
Oh, wow.
'Cause I used to listen to his music daily. He's kind of like a folk singer.
Yep.
Favorite song of all time is a Pink Floyd song. I've got the lyrics to that tattooed on my ribs.
That's what's okay. There you go.
And then I've got like, it's a tricky one, man. I go through phases. I'm very blessed to like all music, except for like, I'm really not much of an R&B fan.
Fair enough.
You know, like, so you Neo and your Drake.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I know people like it. I don't want to shit on it, but I just don't get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Not your cup of tea.
It's really not. I try.
Cup of tea?
I try.
Fair enough.
Used to be big on. What do you listen to when you're working? Do you have like working music?
Yes. So typically for me, I have like my absolute favorite is a Dead Mouse mix.
Yes.
And if you type in Dead Mouse study mix, it'll be basically an hour and a half to 2 hours of some DJ mixing a whole bunch of Dead Mouse tracks. And typically most of them don't have any the majority, like I like just listening to an ongoing beat.
Yeah, you need instrumental, right? Otherwise,
Instrumental, yes.
especially when you're writing.
I'm not huge into like singing songs with singing in it, especially whilst I'm trying to think. Another favorite of mine on Spotify is it's called Creative Flow.
Yeah.
It's basically got a whole bunch of weird and magical tunes and things like that. Maybe actually helps me with my creativity, maybe not, but I like that as well. Typically doesn't have any singing. But yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But for me, if you were going to ask me the question of who I liked, it was The Used, Under Oath, and a band called Billy Talent.
Billy Talent, English band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
They were like on top of like your typical
Fallen leaves on the ground.
Yeah.
It's a Billy Talent song.
Yes. And then
Are they English?
I don't know.
I'm mixing them up with Biffy Clyro.
Maybe.
Billy Talent's good.
Billy Talent and on top of your Blink-182s, the Sum 41s, Good Charlotte, all the normal bands, those three really a little bit of screamo in there as well.
I listen to The Used at the gym all the time.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
In Love and Death, that album.
Yes.
I'm melting. You know, Burt McCracken lives in Sydney.
Oh, does he?
He lives in Balmain, apparently.
There you go.
Yeah, he's the singer of The Used.
There you go.
Now that that's out of the way.
Then now that's out of the way.
On the Focus Flow music,
yes,
I found there's a bunch of people make lo-fi out of like movie soundtracks. So you know, like lo-fi beats.
Yeah.
So, and they always sound the same. There's people out there doing like Lord of the Rings lo-fi, Harry Potter lo-fi, Age of Empires lo-fi, The Witcher.
Hans Zimmer. Do you know who Hans Zimmer is? Yes. Yeah.
So he did all the Lord of the Rings music.
And Inception, Batman.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer didn't do Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness, my
But he
mate's gonna
did.
kill
He
me.
did like the Lion King.
Yes.
Lion King. And a couple of other big
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so all that stuff is
Yeah.
great, but someone's lo-fied all of that stuff, and that's
Yeah.
mad.
Nice.
Ding, 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 like that.
Nice.
Or deathcore,
Yeah.
where you cannot hear the words at all. You've got a man screaming in your ears the whole time.
Ah.
You can't hear the words at all. It's just a.
Really?
No, I love that. I focus. Ali thinks I'm a psycho because she'll come into my room, and if I got like a video to write, I'll be in my room at night with noise cancelling headphones on, my blue light blockers, like a big 3 fingers of whiskey, just listening to deathcore and just writing.
Oh wow.
That's my
That is
in the
that is
zone.
that's a picture.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine it.
And she'll come in and I will not know she's in the room at all. She'll be like,
How do you other than the whiskey? How do you even sleep after that? Because you especially if it's late at night, you're just like pumping.
yeah. I'm very, very good at going to sleep. I sleep very fast, so I'm very lucky. So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, I don't believe screen time affects me too much at night because the one thing that stops me from falling asleep is if I've been exercising recently. So if I get home from the gym at 9 p.m, then I'm not going to sleep until 11 that night.
Yeah.
But I can go from work to sleep pretty fast.
Yep. All right. So now, let's just focus on this. Let's do a little mini episode on this, right? Because I want to know. So talk to me about your music regime. You've got before we came and started filming these episodes, when I got to your house, you've got drumsticks, you've got the little drum pad.
Yeah.
So you obviously, and were you in a band or you're just, okay, talk to me about your music regime and what are some of the music that you use for different pieces of work, for example.
You're a piece of work.
Thank you.
Okay, sweet. So, I started playing music in primary school. I started playing drums because my dad was a drummer. So my dad used to be a drummer in rock bands. I took up the drums when I was about 9, and in primary school, there's only ever one kid who plays the drums. So I always got the drumming gig for school musicals and stuff.
Yep.
Moving into high school, I kept my drum lessons going a bit, but when I got to Australia in 2003. I started taking it more seriously because I met a bunch of guys who we all like the same music and we decided to form a band.
Yeah.
So I started drumming more seriously. And then from probably year 9, from age 14 to age 18, 19, I was in a pretty serious band where a few iterations of it, but we were practicing once or twice a week. We recorded 3 EPs, just mixed by our dad, that sort of thing. Because my mate's dad is a sound engineer.
Yeah.
Actually, a very similar job to you. Actually, he does filming and post and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then we got into doing battles of the bands. We won a local one. We used to play gigs at pubs, that sort of thing. So I was in a rock band, and we started off being more influenced by, 70s rock, but we couldn't play to that level. So it was very, very simple sort of 70s rock. And then we moved into a more sort of grungy style band.
Yeah.
When we got a new singer who had a real Kurt Cobain voice.
Yeah.
Right? So we played a grungy style, really distorted, fast punk rock. It was really fun. But then I got out of it when I started cooking because you work in restaurants the same time you do gigs. And cooking took over.
Yeah.
So there's been a big gap. Music's massive for me. So I can play guitar a little bit. I can play piano a little bit. Play drums. Always been around it. So that's my history.
Let me ask you this. Based on what you've just shared, do you ever see yourself getting back into it in any sort of capacity?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I just don't have space for it. So I have tested out so many electric drum kits, and I just need a place to put it.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, it could only go in my office, but it would take up my whole office.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So electric drum kit is the thing. That's why I got my drumming practice pad.
Yeah.
Because I'm always freaking just tapping on shit.
Yeah.
You probably know that. I've got really big calf muscles from playing the drums when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, and then my mates and I, we actually reformed the band for my wedding.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. And the girls didn't know about that. We were practicing in private, and then my mate's dad's band played at the wedding. and then they did a kind of a skit where they pretended to like not be able to play anymore. I don't know what they did, and they're like, "Oh, we can't go on. We need someone else." And then like one by one, we stepped up and we played a few tracks.
Yeah.
And then my singer, who was my best man as well, he decided, he's like, I can't sing anymore. Can anyone else sing? But he also plays drums. So we swapped and I sang Can't Help Falling in Love to Ali. And he played drums and I sang.
That's sick.
It was rad.
Well done.
Best moment of the wedding for sure, because it was all about me. You know. So yeah, man, I adore music. We talk about getting the band back together, but it's not going to happen for a long time. But you know, when we're 45, you start a pub rock band.
Yeah, have a midlife crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I just need space for an electric kit, but I have a guitar there, and if there's a piano around, I'm playing it.
Yeah,
so,
beautiful.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Nice. So talk to me. How do you use music throughout your day?
What I've learned recently is that I'm very bad with silence.
Yeah.
And the more I look into it, we're going to talk today about learning, you know, how to deal with our kids' own emotional needs. And that's made me dig further into mine. My sensory needs. Silence, I'm not good with, right? Especially if there's other people in the room. So if it's you and me in this room, right, and we're both sitting there on our phones or reading or whatever, I cannot deal with it. I hate that so much. I can deal with silence for myself, but Ali's like, you're always listening to something. There's always like a podcast going on music. I'm not good with silence, and I don't know what that is. I think it's my brain. There was this occupational therapist said some phrase where I'm seeking something, you know, activity. So throughout the day, I often listen to music in the morning when we've got the kids in the house, but I try and put on some chill music, like some slow sort of country music or some bass piano. A lot of female country singers in the morning.
Yep.
And that's always lovely. Cup of coffee, kids having breakfast.
Goes well with your Ringers Western hat.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Nice country hat. Yeah. I'm wearing a hat today, everyone. So if I sound my voice a little higher, that's because my head's being squeezed ever so slightly more. I think that's how it works. Science.
Something
You're not
like
laughing, you're learning here with advertising. When I'm exercising, I generally walk with podcasts.
Yeah.
And usually like current event sort of things, so I know what's happening in the world.
Really? Current event podcasts?
Yeah, but like independent journalists.
Okay.
Not like the news. Like
really?
Independent people.
Yeah, interesting.
People on Substack, people like I love Russell Brand stuff about like just what's going on. Feels relatively unfiltered.
Yeah.
At the gym though, that's when I often bring out if I feel like I need it, I'll bring out like the Screamo. Yeah. Screamo stuff.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, it depends. If I'm doing lots of writing, it's instrumental. Yeah. Instrumental deathcore or lo-fi, depending on what part of the day it is. Yeah. And sometimes if I need to really drive something home, that's when standing desk goes from sitting to standing. Yeah. That's when blinds get closed. Yeah. One light, deathcore, headphones lock in.
Hell yeah.
That's how I use my music. But then Ali and I, when we get the chance, as I've mentioned before, it is barbecue, country, fire pit. Yeah. And that's our safe space.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So it's kind of been a bit of a musical tangent today, but that's fine.
Yeah. Very good.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do the same thing. But it's tough when you're on calls all the time.
Well, for me, typically like I mix in between. So typically there's an NRL podcast that I listen to on a Monday.
Yep.
And that's cool. I like to, even if my team has gone shit, I like to hear someone else break it down and talk about players and the game and everything else as well. And then there's a couple of books that I've got going on the go through Audible. So in the mornings, my Oski, he's into some weird because he watches a lot of kids YouTube and stuff like that. He'll have different things like he went through the Crazy Frogs Frey stay, no, and then but also sometimes he'll put on like this death metal bands and like just random, and then like because he's going to a Christian school, then put on Mary, did you know? It's quite interesting. So he's got his own. He loves music. He needs to play music as part of like calming himself down. And
what does he play?
I actually do have his mix on my phone on Spotify.
I assume he needs to listen to it rather than actually physically create music.
Well, yeah, he typically like sometimes we'll put like, so he's into. Do you know what Rainbow Friends are?
Isn't that you and your mates?
No, it's sort of like, so he's got a couple of songs that are just weird, but he's also then got like a Hillsong song. This is what Heartbreak Feels Like by JVKE, and a couple of others. So anyway, he's into like he's whatever's trending. He's typically what he's like. It typically makes his playlist if it's trending.
Well, that's good because a lot of the old bands are trending again.
Yes,
Blink is coming out.
Well, yeah, he's got a Blink. He's got One More Time by Blink on there as well.
Good song
at the moment. So
very slow. Blink song.
So sometimes he puts songs that we're listening to. Like I'm pretty sure that would have come from the fact that Jess and I were listening to it. But yeah, and then but then after that, as I mentioned, I've got a couple of different playlists that I sort of move between. I do listen to my Screamo when I need picking up. Yeah. But I also have playlists to invoke emotions. Like if I need to, like if I am feeling like I'm run down and sad, like I have a sad mix.
Totally. What is that?
Do you want to know the types of songs?
I'd love to. And then also, because I'm right there with you in that. Talk to me. Give me some sad songs.
So, One More Time actually is one of the songs, a sad song.
Strangers.
Yes. What else have I got? I've got Praying by Kesha.
Yep, great song.
Yes. The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Chasing Cars. Fix You by Coldplay. I'm a Fake by The Used.
Small, simple, safe price. Rise the way can carry me with all of my regrets. I could quote that whole thing. So
I've got like Apologize by One Republic.
Interesting.
Faded by Alan Walker. Hoobastank The Reason.
Oh, Hoobastank.
Waiting for the End by Linkin Park. And that
is a varied sad playlist.
Yeah. And so if I'm feeling like run down or sad, like the thing is like there's a lot of people who talk about being in a positive state and changing your emotions, but fuck that. Like if you're in a sad state, the best way to process it is just allow yourself to be sad.
Yeah.
Not all the time, like can you be sad or be in a shitty mood or whatever, but especially if you've woken up and you're in a shitty mood, like on my walk, I'll be listening to that sad music. And then it's also the same applies when I'm feeling energetic, upbeat. I've then got another mix and
allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling.
100%.
This is what we would say to our kids, isn't it? We would say it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry. But then, like all these personal development fuckers, they're like, get out of just get in a positive mindset.
No.
Just do some power stances. And
so I've actually got an angry mix, and it's got My Way by Limp Bizkit, Breathe by The Prodigy, Take a Look Around by Limp Bizkit, Wake Up by Rise Against the Machine, Freak on a Leash by Korn,
Papa Roach.
Yeah, Burn It Down by Linkin Park, Paralyzed by The Used, and then there's a couple others. Yeah,
angry mix.
Yeah,
never seen you angry, but I'd love to.
I actually do get like if I'm frustrated and angry, I will. Don't know if I should admit this, but I will fucking scream in the car. Like I let it all out in the car.
Place to do it.
Yeah, like blood curdling scream. And it sounds really weird.
I think blood curdling is more of a female thing to do, unless you're doing
like
a real high pitched.
Actually raw. Raw is probably raw is probably the best way of explaining it. Yeah. Like just tensing and getting all the emotion out. It's something. It's one of the best ways, and you feel so like, and you can barely talk after it.
Yeah,
but it's one of the best ways to move emotion and move energy as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
Emotion loves emotion. There's something that people used to say, like emotion.
Your friend Tony Robbins.
He's always right.
Always right.
But in this situation, bollocks. Because he would get you out of your state.
No, he wouldn't. Actually, if you want to change a state, but
he would go positive mindset. But probably that's what he does at seminars. But there's definitely like a lot of merit to feeling a difficult emotion, and even saying like labeling them as negative emotions, like they're not negative. They're just different. They're just difficult. They're challenging, but they're necessary. And we say this to our daughters all the time. Yeah. Like you don't want to give them the impression that it's not okay to be sad.
Yeah.
It's tough to be sad around them.
Yeah.
But like, I used to do the same thing. Like back when I used to have girl troubles back in, when I was 19, 20, I'd be chucking on some old bright, like the singer I was talking about at the beginning, who I cry to whenever I see him live, some of his songs, and I'll just like, drink wine and then listen to these songs and just be sad. And you sometimes really need that.
Absolutely.
Really need that.
100%.
This is a vulnerable one. When I was I was catering for an event once by myself, and I was cooking for all these guys, and I also had business going on, and it was right in southern New South Wales during the gnarly bushfires at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And so on the way there, I've got my parents saying, don't go. But the event's still on. I've been paid for it. Mega stressful while I'm down there. It's only me cooking for like 20 guys for like a week, 3 meals a day. And I remember feeling so tense that I Googled videos to make you cry because I needed to release something. And I couldn't find anything. It's always like some random shit that you're not expecting, but I was trying to physically release because I couldn't do it. I was like in this little hotel room by myself. There was no way of properly doing it. But just like, day to day, you are building up so much tension as a parent sometimes on difficult days, holding it all together. And then as a business owner, you're holding it all in. Letting it go that allows you to go and start again.
Coldplay Fix You is my go-to when I need to if I need to cry. If I want to invoke tears, that's the one.
It's in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Tears stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Down your face. No, I don't think I have a song that makes me cry because I'm obviously marginally more manly than you are. But but I get it. I think sitting in and you know what's funny is that like people say that angry music makes you angry. Not the case. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that like metal, heavy, screamo, you said when I'm, screamo pumps me up, you feel amazing. So much dopamine comes from like
absolutely
fast, heavy, loud music, and that's misinterpreted by people who don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Like Ali calls me a psycho. My kids for a period they loved Parkway Drive, like screaming band. Yeah. And Ali's like, you're going to make them angry. I'm like, they love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my other favorite one is I've got an entrepreneurial mix as well. And so it's talking about the journey. I've got Nosebleed section by
Hilltop Hoods.
Why
is that an entrepreneurial song?
I don't know. It talks about the journey. Yeah. And there's a couple of others in there as well.
There you go.
So, yeah.
That's an interesting playlist. Yeah, you get them. Kind of like hustle playlists.
Yeah. There's there's a song
from
by
the bottom, now we're
Eminem.
here.
Yes, started from the bottom, now I'm here. By Eminem. By Drake. And then there's an Eminem one here. Let me tell you a couple. Hall of Fame by The Script.
Till I Collapse.
Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Yeah.
Remember the Name by Fort Minor.
Some good songs on
Not Giving In by Rudimental. Coming Home by Diddy. He's copping a lot of flack at the moment, isn't he?
Cancelled.
Yes.
Alan listens to Diddy.
Don't say anything against him. And then, there's a couple of others there as well.
Some R. Kelly on there as well. Some Michael Jackson.
Not Afraid by
Any
Eminem.
other sex pests?
Drive by Incubus. Express Yourself by Labyrinth.
I know this is not a podcast for me to bitch. But Incubus,
you don't like him?
I don't like Incubus.
Wow.
I know. I try, and that band bores the hell out of me. I don't know what it is. And Korn. I don't like Korn. And
There you go.
Incubus, and they both sound the same. Wobbly guitars, kind of like annoying voice. Just dull.
Tell me more about your feelings, Alex.
Incubus came out. My friends were like, should we go and see Incubus?
Yeah.
And outside of Drive and Wish You Were Here, which are okay songs, I tried. I gave it the other day. I worked out and listened to Incubus the whole time,
Yeah.
and just disappointed by every song.
Yeah.
It's really weird because they're a good band.
There you go.
Apparently.
There you go.
This is good, man. This is fun. This would be a really interesting, like, Instagram poll for our like 17 followers. Like, tell us what are you're sending your playlists.
Yeah, well, you can actually, on Spotify, you can actually do a playlist. So, a poll. So we'll do a poll on Spotify. Yeah.
We can start a dadvertising playlist.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Do you want
Yeah. What would be the first song you'd put on the Dadvertising playlist?
It's Raining Men. No, I don't know, man. Depends what vibe we want to spread. Probably it'd have to be the Dadvertising soundtrack.
It'd have to be the Dadvertising soundtrack. I'd love a bit of Tina Turner.
Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the song?
Simply the Best.
Simply the Best. Yes.
There you go.
That to me. That's a Dadvertising song.
We're simply the best podcast out there.
Simply the best.
That's fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that how people get into a state of focus for work. We're all so different in this, and I know that like the way my sister does it to the way that so many people in our spaces would be like, I light some candles, I sage the room and like charge my crystals up, and then I
Put shamanic music on
exactly.
it. Yeah.
I can fully get that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. I suppose you're probably most focused when you're in a state that aligns with your natural energy, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I'm quite a fast-paced guy, so I do better with fast-paced music. But if you're, super slow and calm.
I'm the same. I am the same with R&B. With like, there are only a couple of a handful of songs that I like to listen to. Other than that, I'm not really into
There's
it.
some bangers.
Yeah.
There's some bangers out there.
Yeah.
Like, got to say, this new Beyonce album is trash.
Haven't listened to it.
This ain't Texas. You've heard that song a
I've
million
heard it,
times.
Yes, everywhere.
Nightmare.
Mind you, actually, in Starbucks in Hawaii, there was a girl of that color who had Beyonce pumping on. Yeah, you can tell that it's a popular.
I think you can say a black person. That's fine.
Black person.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
Pumping.
She's so popular.
Yes.
I've never understood Beyonce. I understand Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Never understood Beyonce.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child were good back in the day.
Yeah.
They were good.
All right.
Well,
This is a little music episode.
Yeah.
Came out of bloody
Completely
nowhere.
Abandoned ship on the notepad, didn't we? How good.
No, very good.
But that leaves a good episode in the bank for the next one.
Yes.
Which is talking about business partners.
Yes.
Having one, not having one, positive, negative experiences, pros and cons,
Tune in next
swings
week.
and roundabouts.
Tune in next week to find out more.
Tell us your favourite songs,
Tell us your favourite songs.
as we have today.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll start a poll on Spotify.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you let us know what song do you think needs to be on the Dadvertising playlist.
Yeah, let's do that.
Boom.
See you guys.